comes head-to-head with other motorists, threading the needle, coming head-to-head with innocent
Oh,
drivers.
he got a piece clipped.
The bridge here. He is now going the wrong way on the entrance ramp.
Oh my God, bro! He cooked the cops. He's booking it.
Ramping things up. This is going to change the entire profile.
I mean, on the straight they'll
pursuit.
pick back up, but that is crazy, dude. He is.
Going over the dividing cone.
Oh my God, bro! That is locked in, bro. That is crazy. Apparently, there's a live high-speed chase in LA of David. No shot, it's actually David. Get the hell out of here. There's no way it's actually David. Wait, really? Send me the link right now. It's not David. It's probably a high-speed chase, but it's not. I was just watching it. It is. How do you know it's actually David? No way. What?
Pretty close to him right now, and now it's just a matter of just seeing where he's going to go.
He's definitely flying past all the other cars on the freeway, which we believe are going 60, 65, 87. So maybe
that doesn't look like him, bro. What are you talking about? That's like a fat old man, I think.
Thankfully, traffic is not very congested on in the direction that he's moving. Although maybe I spoke too soon. Here in the direction that he's moving. Although maybe I spoke too soon. Here he is on the shoulder, avoiding a slowdown there, and this is just
y'all are such assholes, bro.
Very dangerous.
Yeah, Giovanna, he's really speeding up now, using that left lane, actually on the shoulder now, to really accelerate past all of this traffic. Really tenuous with all of these innocent motorists in play here. Really limits the options for LAPD, and now it does indeed look, as he crosses underneath the 405 freeway, he is committing to the southbound 110, but they are now asking for California Highway
Ultimate
Patrol
One Guide?
to
I mean,
prepare to
yeah,
take it
I couldn't
over.
resist.
California Highway Patrol isn't quite ready just yet, but they're going to get
couldn't
ready.
resist.
LAPD is prepared to hand this off. They're going to keep following it. They're going to stay behind them as long as they can, and then once CHP can get their pursuit package together, a pursuit package being a primary unit and a secondary unit and a backup unit at the very least, to be able to execute that felony stop once this vehicle comes to a complete stop, and hopefully this comes to a peaceful resolution. CHP will be prepared to bring the suspect in custody, but until they're ready to take it over, LAPD is going to stay right behind them. So they're in the middle of that transition process of handing it off to the California Highway Patrol, especially as he remains committed to the 110 freeway. Now, if he gets off the freeway,
why does it say suspect?
Other agencies
I don't know.
to get involved, or if
why the f do you think the only suspect in Los Angeles is David right now?
With two hands, I saw the left hand move as if he was, fiddling with the phone.
You think that's the only that took place?
Very fast on that shoulder. Puts everyone else at risk.
Yeah, we caught a glimpse of that cell phone too. Obviously tinted windows there, but it does appear, as you mentioned, guys, that that passenger seat is empty. Not clear if there's anybody else in the back, but it does appear, in all likelihood, the suspect may be by himself here. But right now, he's got two hands on the wheel. We were able to take another peek through that front windshield there, but he does appear to be trying to.
The driver's apparently blasting David's music. Why are you saying that?
He does have full control of the vehicle. He's navigating the traffic pretty well, albeit at extreme speeds at times, as he tries to get past some of this traffic. But a bulk of the volume is now behind us. And as we look further down towards the port of Los Angeles, as the 110 freeway takes us past the Sepulveda here, he has a wide open 110 freeway to play with much milder traffic. But eventually, the 110 freeway, as you guys know, will come to an end here pretty shortly. He has opportunities to get off. In fact, I think he's only got a couple more exits. Eventually, he will either end up on surface streets or potentially over towards the Vincent Thomas Bridge if he continues towards the port here. But, we don't know where this originated. We know the pursuit started in Hollenbeck, but not clear whether he is heading towards a specific destination.
He's actually David, I'm not kidding. When mom find the poop sock, really? You're going to try to poop sock me right now?
Yeah, or if he even knows where he's going at this point, if he even knows that the freeway is going to be coming to an end, which could create some complications as he starts to navigate surface streets.
Someone heard the driver made fun of Charlie Kirk. Yeah, that's why they're hunting him down, dude. Welcome to Trump's America. Even in woke libtard California, you come for Charlie Kirk. You heard he said Charlie Kirk is not the best guy. That's what he said, which is sufficient grounds for a termination, obviously. What is this music? It's called Animal Cum music.
To a different division. We have been in the city of LA this entire time, but the fact that he was on the freeway did prompt them to hand it off or attempt to hand it off. What I'd like to do when you have a chance, Josh, just want to peek over at that primary unit, that SUV behind him. I think that is still LAPD.
Oof.
I just want to double check. That
Dude,
is
the craziest
still
thing about LA
LAPD.
drivers is like they're so unfazed. Like that's wild to me that this guy's still gunning it down the highway. Meanwhile, there's an active police pursuit happening right next to him.
You know, they have to have the units available. Here he is getting off.
Whoa.
He's going to cut somebody off. He's going to go over the gore point here, and he's going to get off.
Damn, he
at,
is doing the damn
let's see.
thing.
We'll get this exit here. It's at the Terminal Island exit, but he's now going to be on surface streets here momentarily, underneath the 110 freeway, and eventually towards the Vincent Thomas Bridge. He is actually about to get on the Vincent Thomas Bridge if he doesn't take this final exit here, which will be Harbor Boulevard. If he bypasses Harbor, he will end up on the bridge, and he will take us all the way into the port. It looks like he's hugging that left lane, and if I'm not mistaken, he is now committed. He is now committed to, oh no, over the gore point. This is his last chance. A little last-minute maneuvering there really points to what you were talking about, guys. He really may not know where he wants to take this. He possibly
he's slowing
is
down.
just making this up, going the wrong way.
wrong way.
Oh,
He's now
shit!
taking the entrance
Oh, no,
ramp,
look at
going
this.
off.
Oh, my
This means
goodness.
he's going to lose
Oh, my
these cops
goodness.
going head-on with these semi-tractor trailers that are trying to get towards the port, now going the wrong way on Palos Verdes Street as he comes head-to-head with other motorists,
Oh!
threading the needle, coming head-to-head with innocent
Oh, he
drivers
got-
trying
he got
to
a
get
piece
onto
clipped.
the bridge here. He is now going the wrong way on the entrance ramp. getting
Oh
off at
my
Harbor
God,
Boulevard,
bro.
making a wild
He
left-hand
cooked the
turn
cops.
here
He's
and
booking
really
it.
ramping things up. This is going to change the entire profile.
I mean, on the
of this
straight, they'll
pursuit.
pick
That
back up,
maneuver
but that is
enough to
crazy,
attract a
dude.
lot
He
more
is.
attention going over the dividing cone.
Oh
there,
my
and
God,
now
bro.
trying
That
to
is
just put
that
any
is
distance
locked
that he can
in,
between
bro.
him
That is
and those primary units.
crazy.
But you can see now we have clear desperation. There's a guy directing traffic right here. He's like, what's going on with this guy? Well, he has no idea. This is a major pursuit coming right through the port here.
Yeah, that
This
better get out of the way before the
desperate. He
cops
is now
run him
desperate
over.
to get away. We are seeing a much different behavior now behind the wheel than we've seen at any point during this pursuit.
Bro,
as he tries to
Toyotas are
figure out his
so
next move
durable,
here.
man.
I
That
hesitate
is
to say,
nutty.
where he's going to maybe end up next here. But,
Like, how are you gonna be whipping a Corolla like that? That is crazy.
Going the wrong way, head on with all those vehicles without any regard for anybody's safety here. We're seeing clear violations of multiple traffic rules, and obviously,
As a Mazda,
he can't go the wrong way the way he is willing to go. So now
is
they have
it?
to reconfigure their strategy, figure out how to get units ahead of him. I don't far back out there.
Oh, I think it's a Corolla hatchback, no?
But it looks like there's a black and white at the bottom of the screen. So there is somebody prepared there. Look at him. He's
many
going
close
against
calls.
traffic again and now getting back on the 110. He went through that intersection, past cross traffic, almost got into another head-on collision, and is now going northbound.
Yeah,
on
it's
the
a
110. He's
Yaris,
gonna get back on
right?
the freeway
Like a
here.
hatchback.
Just look at the damage there. That was not there before, I do not believe.
Well, I
think that
can't
is
read it.
new
What is-
bumper damage as he ran up against one of those
I think it's a
oncoming
Yaris,
vehicles.
right?
Minor collision there, and that may start to affect the
Oh
vehicle.
damn,
We'll
bro.
see
The
what he does here.
Japanese know how to make cars, dude.
Now going the opposite direction. We'll see, guys. This is getting a lot more dangerous by the second.
Guys, I used to have a Camry Sport Edition.
Right.
This is
I
like
think
a
he
lower
hit
version of
these
that.
vehicles. I don't know if it was one of the big trucks or that pickup truck, but I think his tail bumper smashed into somebody as he was trying to squeeze. his
Corolla
way through
hatchback,
and
that's
he was
my
going
car.
that way, but
Well-
he's about to lose
Coming
the whole
out, yeah,
bumper.
it's coming
Well,
out.
I do
your
believe
car
that
is
bumper has
cooked,
damage as
chatter.
well from an earlier collision. It looks that way to me, but this is about to go.
And when this does go, it creates a terrible situation for drivers behind him. That's going to fly onto some car. You know, the bumper there will likely fly into traffic
Yeah.
lanes.
Guy thought David was
Yeah, that
driving a
bumper's really
Corolla.
concerning. If that bumper flies off, it's only being held on by a couple of bolts now. If that bumper flies off, that could create a real hazard for any number of the drivers that are in the vicinity here.
Banana
It's also
peel,
gonna
yeah.
affect the vehicle
No,
at some
literally.
point here.
That
So
shit
now we
flies
have a
off. The cop
dangling
that's in
bumper,
active pursuit
that
is going to
not
have a hard time.
a piece of
That
rubber.
could
That
rip
is
their tires
a
potentially.
real hazard if that flies through somebody's windshield. So you've got that factoring in here. LAPD still in pursuit here, able to get on the freeway with him. I can't tell you exactly how far. About a half mile, I'm being told. About a half mile back is the closest unit. So once again, it's falling on that helicopter to maintain a visual of this suspect as he comes speeding up the 110 freeway. Now, you noticed as we got past Sepulveda earlier, things really got lighter on the 110 freeway. Now that he's going the opposite direction, he doesn't have much traffic.
I just want to remind the chat that there is constant 24/7 surveillance all around the state.
Things are about to change. There's a lot more
And
traffic
therefore,
coming up if he-
a lot of this stuff is just useless and incredibly dangerous. I mean, that's not going to stop us from consuming it.
more comfortable on the
But
freeway, though, in general.
there's a reason why a lot of places actually don't have car chases, and it's actually illegal
He just didn't feel
for police to give chase.
On the video on your right, that is
Because
when he was
in most
going
circumstances, when these car
very
chases
closely.
happen,
We think
it's
some of the
obviously
keys
very, very dangerous for the random onlookers, civilians, other
was a pickup truck,
drivers.
and that's what drove that
Sometimes
bumper loose.
maybe you're about to
Earlier in the
fly
pursuit,
to a
it looked
different,
like his front bumper had
maybe you're
some
about to
damage
fly to a
it,
different
which may have
country,
happened earlier in
and there's a
this
car chase that
pursuit
takes
before
place
we
that
joined
ends
him, because
right
he has been
near
driving
where the
recklessly
airport is, and then it cooks you.
And he is bent on getting away any way that he can.
It can happen.
Yeah, you know, you're
And then you
right
have to get
about
the
that.
next
And
flight
the
out
fact of the matter
instead.
is we don't even know if this vehicle, you
And
know,
it's
who
goddamn
belongs to,
annoying.
and
That
as long
sounds
as
personal?
we
No,
are
no.
working with in terms of information. We don't know if this is a stolen vehicle, what other crimes are involved surrounding this.
Open it on the other screen also. You don't want to ban for this? No, he's in the car, dude. I'm not.
Complete stop
Unless they
voluntarily.
stop
May or may not
and the
hit
cops
him,
actually
because
come
right now
out.
He is dedicated to that shoulder. He's using that
There is
shoulder
very
to
little
get
likelihood that I'm going to see something. I mean, I don't want to speak out of turn here, but
See now, it looks like there's 2 units coming up ahead.
if he gets into a high-speed collision, I'll click away.
Look at that.
Look
They've
at
stopped
this.
But you
traffic.
won't actually end up. You won't actually see
They spiked
the
him
violence
in the middle of
anyway.
rush hour traffic on the freeway,
Oh my
deploying
God,
that
it's
spike
holding
strip,
by a
and
thread.
It looks like it
It's
may have been
worked.
successful.
Brilliant.
Look
Oh,
at
that
that
he got
front left
spiked.
Tire. If that
Brilliant.
front left tire was struck, it's most likely that the front right tire was
They
likely
spiked
struck.
them.
That
Damage
looks
too.
like that
See
tire
that?
is already deflating from hitting that spike strip. That is going to really slow this vehicle
cooked.
down here as he tries
cooked.
to get
It's
on one
over.
around the semi-truck,
GG's.
back on the
GG, no
shoulder
re.
here. Excellent job by the California
he's slowing
Highway
down.
Patrol, able to set up for that spike strip. That's why
I don't
they
think we've seen
communicate
that
amongst
before.
each other to try and coordinate.
I don't think
That
we've
is a
seen that
very
before on a
unusual
freeway.
move, Giovanna. It's been especially with all that traffic. The freeway
Yeah, I can't
spike
believe they
is something
spiked
they will
them
try, but
on
if
the
someone coming up
freeway.
in the desert or maybe up the Grapevine where they've got a long stretch of freeway. And
Someone
empty
said this
pavement
car
to just lay
represents
down that
America.
spike strip. I think you're right. I
Yeah,
have
this is
never
it's
quite
holding
seen
on by a
in the
thread. It's the
middle of
bumper,
rush hour
dude.
traffic.
The
They will
bumper
take
represents
effective
America's
brake,
power
traffic brake, and then
as the
right
global
after traffic
hegemon.
brake, lay down a perfect spike strip right as he cleared.
Just let it go,
the
man.
traffic
Let it
generator.
go.
Now it looks like he's thinking about getting off the freeway, getting off of the 110 freeway now, as
There
that
it goes.
tire is
Oh, that tire is
already
gone.
coming off.
Yeah.
That tire was immediately
There it
deflated.
is.
There goes the tire. Now he's riding on
There's
one
in trouble.
rim. I don't know what the other side of the vehicle looks like, but he's
Uh-oh.
getting off now. LAPD right behind him. He's coming between these 2 vehicles here. We know he's willing to ram into other cars. He's done it already. He's gone the wrong way. He has sped right through traffic, and now
Oof.
it looks like this vehicle is on borrowed time. Tyler, when we get a chance at some point, if we can come around the passenger seat, I would like to see just what that other side of the vehicle looks like. But this vehicle is coming apart at the seams. We've got one tire completely gone. We've got the bumper dangling off here. There is other damage, and we're going to see how much longer this holds up. But right now, he just turned onto Del Amo Boulevard off of Fig, and he's slowing down dramatically. Also, the fender is also interfering with that front right wheel. So, you know, it's a Toyota. It'll go the distance, but it is on borrowed time, guys.
Absolutely. And if you are just joining us, we have been on this pursuit. What's very important about this pursuit is we believe that this is a suspect. So beware of that. If this does come to an end and he jumps out of the vehicle, we need to be prepared for any possible scenario. We believe this is a very dangerous person that is in this car. And there's the damage. Front right tire as well. The passenger side tire looks like they got that as well. They lured him with
right.
that shoulder, Chris, and he fell for it. He went right at it and went right at them and that spike strip.
It was a work of art for law enforcement here. I mean, they're going to be congratulating that officer that laid down just a perfect spike, and great teamwork by that squad to, again, create the traffic break, create the opportunity, and basically bait him, like you said, and eventually knock out both of those front tires. That right tire is now on borrowed time. He is slowing down dramatically. This is a slower speed pursuit now, coming northbound on Main Street.
Bro, of course it's glazed, dude. Are you kidding me? It's mainstream.
Street. And
this guy is a legend too. He's a local legend, the helicopter guy.
I just don't think it's going to give him much more power with all of the damage here. But you never know. I mean, he's going to try and take this.
They love glazing the cops. This is their favorite pastime.
Was severely impacted. We know the left tire came off.
I just got here. Is this David? No, dude, it's not.
Maybe even the rear tire too. Yeah. Maybe even that right rear as well.
Might have been affected.
So you know. It's unusual that you get both. It's unusual that you get both, because what happens is you have those spikes. Those spikes are like little straws that are pointy, and they go right into
Give it a few minutes until he switches cars. I don't think he has a partner in crime, man.
Rubber, and basically allows the tires to slowly deflate. And occasionally, if he turned the wheel at all, especially if he tried to avoid the spike in the last
he was doing really well,
he was
though,
able to get some more spikes in the back.
This alleged suspect was doing really well with the Toyota Corolla Sports Edition.
We're now facing a new set of potential dangers. He's slowing down. We know that he's wanted for. We don't know if he's armed. We could see another level of risk to law enforcement and the people around him.
Clearly, yes. Clearly a violent person behind the wheel, at least suspected of murder. And you can see now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units behind him. That's been about the case since the beginning of this pursuit. By the way, it does look like he's coming even closer
Chris, we're gonna run the video. We're running the video of that spike strip to show how it worked, and we were watching him go down the shoulder of the road. This is at the 90 way, right at the center, 91 freeway, right at the center divider, where they threw that spike strip out there, and they got him, and the results were almost immediate. But Chris, back to the live picture, is this a place where they would do the pit maneuver, or are they just going to wait this out?
You know, it's doable. I mean, they have that median there. They may even have control of traffic ahead of him. They don't have control of traffic ahead of them, but they do have enough pavement to play with. The key here is if they have any information regarding whether he is armed or not. If he is a known gunman, they will be less likely to execute a pit maneuver. However, if it's a stabbing suspect, they may play it a little bit differently.
I should have never taught you old fucks what 6'7" is.
With. There is an incident commander making the call at each and every step of this pursuit. But right now, that spike strip had exactly the desired effect. It was an impeccable spike attempt, successful spike, and that may be enough to just exhaust what is left of the rubber on this car. And so with enough open road here, Main Street, they may just take it a little bit further here before they think about a pit maneuver. If it gets to that, they can use that, but that's something they'll probably save in their back pocket.
Yeah. Well, he's driving slow enough that it's possible LAPD officers are ahead of him and waiting in some position to try to get him to stop completely.
Coming up on a busy intersection here. This is going to be Main Street at Victoria. It's the first major intersection since we've gotten off here after that spike, and now it looks like he's
so
stopping
cooked,
for
dude.
traffic.
There's no
now
way.
Going through the intersection, continuing northbound on Main at a very slow speed, maybe about 25 miles per hour, Josh, something like that. Not more than 30 miles per hour at the very most. So
just
right
got here. My daughter always says 6'7". I missed it. Please tell me.
You know, just expends whatever is left, because his time is. He knows his time is.
We got hella boomers in here. That's cute as hell.
He's really enjoying.
It doesn't mean anything. It's just a thing that Zoomers and Gen Alpha say.
Obviously the open
they go
question.
6'7". It's just a TikTok thing.
Cooperate? You know, you can only
like it literally doesn't mean anything.
Will end as peacefully as possible. But what we can, you know, kind of breathe
from
a
a
sigh
song,
of relief about is that
and it became like a viral
have
meme.
come down dramatically, and that is again thanks to that perfect spike strip, which really has now really decreased the risk involved in this pursuit.
No, it's a LaMelo Ball in it and Skrilla. No, I know where it comes from. Shut up.
And they're lucky enough to
I'm saying that there is no. It doesn't have a like a real meaning though.
as he continues now.
It's just a thing that
underneath the
people
91
say.
freeway.
Yeah,
It's
he's
the thing
still
that
around.
kids say.
A lot of folks right now that could be collateral damage if something gets really bad here. But you're right, he may be at that point where he has nothing to lose, especially if he's a murder suspect. This could be his last little bit of freedom that he has, and we don't know what his state of mind is at this point. Maybe they are content to just ride this out. Maybe, if they're lucky, they could even communicate with him through his cell phone. We don't know.
This, by the way, this right here is the most like 48-year-old diss I've ever fucking seen in my life. I love that we got the normies in here, which means we got the hogs in here, which means that we got like the divorced dad brigade in here as well. Hasan, you were one of those kids who tried to hammer a cube into a circular slot when you were younger, right? Like, damn, bro, just say I'm stupid. You know, what the fuck? What is this? Why do you have to reveal age, sex, and location with that?
But it is one of the tactics that we've seen a little bit more frequently recently, where California Highway Patrol, for example, would be willing to kind of get in front of him. So again, these decisions vary from agency to agency. I think right now you're going to see a cautious approach as we start to see a little bit of smoke emanating from that front right tire.
ASL is
Debris
boomer
coming
too.
off.
I know,
There
that's
goes the
why I
tire,
mentioned it.
And he's now on two rims. The front two tires have now completely come off. He's driving on nothing but rim on the front, and those rear tires are just barely holding up. At some point, he will be on just, he'll just start grinding that metal into the pavement. And yet again, just look at how this Toyota is behaving. I mean, it's still moving despite the fact that the tires have now come off.
Yeah.
And we've seen this before. Other pursuit suspects in cars driving on wheels, so much so that sparks start to fly.
And the car catches on fire.
We've seen it about 3 times this week already.
Wow.
God
That is
damn.
something. He's going to have
This
a
guy's
real
like, I
hard
see
time
cars on
maneuvering. He
fire
can
all
go
the
straight
time.
right now, but trying to turn this thing on metal rims, on asphalt, will be exceptionally difficult. I'm sure he knows that as well. It's a matter of him just deciding when to stop.
It's a good point. We'll see if he knows that. Depending on his state of mind, he may or may not realize that. If he tries to turn that wheel, it could absolutely play into the favor of law enforcement and kind of bring this vehicle to a stop. His best move, you're right, is to just keep going in a straight line. Going up Main Street all the way into South LA, he could get a little bit more distance. But if he tries to turn that wheel, it could change the behavior of the vehicle dramatically. So if he's aware of that, we'll see. But right now, this is a desperate individual behind the wheel of this vehicle. The driving that we've seen here, the close calls, it's almost a miracle that nobody has gotten hurt. We have seen at least one collision. You can see heavy damage on the front and the rear. Now coming up on another busy intersection. This is going to be Main Street at Redondo Beach Boulevard. Traffic slowing down, lights and sirens blaring through the intersection, giving all of those motorists the opportunity to allow for this caravan of LAPD units to continue the slow speed chase northbound on Main Street, coming up on 152nd Street, just north of Redondo Beach Boulevard.
And you can see the other vehicles stopping. I'm sure the lights and sirens are giving them, the information they need to know to stop and just be cautious and let officers and this pursuit suspect go by. We've been following this pursuit since about a few minutes after 4 o'clock. It started in the Hollenbeck area, and this suspect is wanted for murder. He was driving on our local freeways in the South LA area all the way to Long Beach very recklessly at high speeds.
This is LA streets? I mean,
And then
I don't
we
know
saw
what part
law
of LA this is, but
enforcement
it's
lay
not
down
like...
that perfectly planned spike strip on the 110
LAPD is allowed to pit
and
maneuver.
that is
They
when,
do it all the
he
time.
lost his tires.
I don't know why they're not doing it in these. Like, they usually do it in a less crowded
We
part.
still don't have information on exactly what
This
murder
is South
he's
Bay near
suspected of,
LAX?
but this
Oh.
is a murder suspect, and he is obviously refusing to give up. It was a really dangerous pursuit for quite some time. Him going the wrong way on entrance ramps, which was really scary, but that's part of the damage you see on the back bumper. But that perfect spike strip really changed this pursuit, Chris, and that's when he slowed down, and it put law enforcement in command of this, and now it's just a wait and see. And boy, he is refusing. That's dangerous.
Close calls here. Yeah, he's taking every opportunity to squeeze through here, despite the red light, going right through the red light, right through cross traffic here at Rosecrans Avenue, northbound on Main Street. You're right, David. That's when everything changed with that spike strip. It'll go down in the LAPD highlight reel for sure.
Oh my God, LAPD highlight reel.
It was CHP. We'll have to double check that. I believe that was CHP that set up for that spike strip. Either way, great teamwork on the part of both LAPD and the CHP. It's one of those things that is, they're very difficult to pull off, and to do it in the middle of rush hour traffic on a busy freeway at this time of the day, I mean, kudos to those guys, because it really has minimized the danger here, as he is not able to accelerate the way he was earlier on in this pursuit, doing triple-digit speeds down the freeway. Now we're fortunate that he's on surface streets. He can't go much faster than he is right now. So LAPD, again, with time on their side, they don't have to really stress too much until he comes to a stop, and then they will be ready for anything at the conclusion of this pursuit. Hopefully it'll end as peacefully as we are watching here, because right now it's kind of giving him the opportunity for his adrenaline to start coming down. He's able to kind of, you know, push the pedal to the metal and not really get very far. LAPD in the same position now, with a lot more opportunity to triangulate, have units ahead of him here, and even potentially at some point possibly hand this off to another group of units, another group of LAPD units. They will do that frequently. After a certain amount of time, they want to replace those LAPD units to keep everybody fresh and make sure everybody has got the endurance that they need to bring this to an end. I mean, again, at these speeds, if it's a full tank of gas, this could go on for a while without really putting anybody else in danger. A slow speed pursuit up Main Street, you know, even though he's riding on rims, I mean, you know, again, unless he does something dramatically more aggressive, they could just kind of ride this out. Now doing about 26 miles per hour on Main Street here, coming up on 130th. And I would say for about the last 5 to 10 minutes, he's really been going in a straight line.
Yeah, he can't.
Bro, stop
he can't
saying
go.
it's David.
So let's show
It's
you
not.
that wrong way video first. Look at this, the audacity as he turns into
They love running. They love rerunning the top moments. But stop saying it's David. The reason why is because cops are too busy doing this dumb shit instead of just like waiting it out, staking out whatever location he arrives at, and then arresting him after the fact. So they're too busy doing this dumb shit instead of actually prosecuting David potentially. David is a singer, and there was a dead, decomposing body found in his car. And then recently, yesterday, it came out that the body belonged to a 15-year-old who had just turned 15, as a matter of fact, and that seemingly David had actually groomed and potentially had a pedophilic relationship with. Wait till the pod. I'm gonna talk about all of it, but I talk about it on the pod, but I already talked about it. You don't know he's guilty? I don't. You're right, but all of the readily available evidence so far points to a tremendous amount of guilt. I mean, they had matching tattoos and stuff, so unless all of that is just a lie, and the victim's mother was just like, I had this topic first. Austin, what are you talking about? You don't get to own this topic. I have already covered it extensively this morning. I'm just catching people up on it. Calm down. Yeah. Like, you can't fucking call dibs on a topic and then get me to stop covering it on my broadcast. People say I come unprepared. Okay, the only thing you prepped for is the biggest story that we obviously were going to talk about that I've already covered. What's wrong with you? Find new topics right now. Austin moved to LA, so he lost all. You're right. It's because he moved to LA. He done got no plane stories no more. I also prep for Jimmy Kimmel. You stole that one too. Okay, what's next, bro? You're going to talk about the fucking Trump administration's First Amendment violations? Like, those are my topics. What's next, dude? You're going to talk about Trump too? Dude, don't cover Trump. Don't cover Trump. That's my topic now. Go back to living in fucking Portland so you can have some plane and airplane and airport stories again, okay? Clearly, you have lost the sauce. All you love talking about nowadays is being gay in WeHo. which is something that you were doing anyway. You were talking about being gay in Portland.
105 freeway, and the slow speed chase continues.
Austin be like, dude.
LAPD just following now at a safe
Austin be like,
distance,
dude,
trying
don't
to,
cover
at
this
the
car
very
chase.
least,
I'm going to cover it on the
notify these
podcast.
busy intersections that there is police activity coming in
Austin
their
comes in here,
direction.
watches my stream,
Because of
comes
the
up with
slow
talking
speeds,
points, and
we're
then
at
he's like,
less
this is
risk
my
of a high-speed
story.
crash. You know, he could very easily T-bone as he moves through these busy intersections through cross traffic.
There's an update on
He's slowing
Celeste. Their
down
former
through
teacher said
red
some
lights,
stuff.
kind
Wait,
of
what?
giving, traffic an opportunity, waiting for his space. But if he was going much faster, which I imagine if he had 4 tires to work with and really accelerate this vehicle, he would be speeding through some of these intersections, and that would put so many more lives in danger. I would be so much more afraid right now if we were speeding through these busy intersections. But that spike strip has accomplished so many goals all in one fell swoop, and now he's just kind of riding. Go look at this, going the wrong way, still swerving around over the double yellow lines to get around traffic at 108th Street, continuing northbound on Main Street, but not really willing to sit in any kind of traffic. He just wants to get this vehicle as far as he can. He's not going to get very far. We kind of know, we have an idea of how this is going to end. We just don't know how long it's going to take or if he's going to be cooperative at the end of it. But you can now see that it's just a matter of time until this vehicle gives up on him. And so he's just basically using every last bit of metal.
Yeah, and let's be clear, we still don't know if for sure he has a weapon, but we have to handle this very carefully. We have some video of that spike strip we've been talking about. Look at him going down the 91, and watch closely right here. They send out, there's a spike strip. He hits it perfectly. He was flying down the shoulder, Chris. They had traffic stopped on the 91. He took the bait. He went down the shoulder where they had the spike strip set up, and he went right over it. It's like they knew what he was going to do, and they gauged it perfectly. One more time, showing you the traffic stop, the spike strip right there. The one space that he can squeeze through, and that's where the spike strip was, and he took it. And to his demise, that's what led to the downfall of 3 of his 4 tires, and now it's a waiting game.
And that really took a lot of planning, if you think about it, because there was a lot of traffic on the freeway, and that means that CHP officers or LAPD had to get ahead of the traffic and slow down the traffic, the speed to a stop. So that was a lot of thought and planning.
Yeah, I would love to see the background on that. I don't know if it exists, but that is a good story to tell when this thing does come to an end. Are you dealing with some flight restrictions, Chris?
We are. I was just going to tell you, he is now driving away from us. We've now passed Century, and he is continuing northbound on Main Street. So you're going to see him kind of ride off into the distance, and we'll see at what point we may decide to just kind of come around LAX's airspace and meet up
Dude
with him.
should get rid of the
further
4th tire and get
north,
on a
closer to
railroad.
downtown.
True.
We may have to lose sight of him momentarily. We'll see how far he takes it. We're going to try and keep the camera on him. But the one
I
thing
think
that
he's
we're starting to
officially reached
notice,
airspace
as
that
word gets out
helicopters
on the
can't go
various
to.
apps and Citizen, we see a lot more people trying to catch
Right?
a glimpse of
That's
the
what it
slow
is,
speed
right? That's
pursuit.
why
It's
they're
slow enough
following
that
from
they can
afar.
come outside and,
So yeah,
pull their cell
one of the
phones out. We're
metas,
seeing a lot more people
one of the metas
almost
in
cheering him on
police
at some
chases
point
is because
as they
cops
come
have
through the
police
neighborhood here. So
helicopters as well.
LAPD now has that factor
Airport is a
to
meta.
deal with as well. Folks
It's
coming out trying
always
to
abused. It's a
participate
fucking
or catch a
abusive
glimpse
ass
of the
meta,
slow speed
which is
chase.
why it's
Losing
annoying
slow
because like
speed
they oftentimes
chase
do
here
apprehend
on Main
these
Street
guys near
on a
the
Thursday
airport.
afternoon. It is
But-
the excitement of the day in this part of
But
town,
basically,
and,
they do that so
folks
they can
obviously
evade
trying to catch
the
a glimpse. Many
the
events
police
you see that
helicopters,
original
and
pursuit
also
package
the
still in tow here. They are
the
now right on his
news
tail.
helicopters as well.
He is well aware of his
Airport is pretty OP.
predicament, and that car still
Obviously,
crawling
my
along
favorite
northbound past
is
88
parking
Place.
lot
As he gets smaller, we're going to have a little
with
bit of
like
heat
above ground
on the way
coverage.
here. You'll see the picture start
Parking
to
lot
get a
swap
little blurry,
outs,
but in a couple
bike
minutes here,
swap
we'll probably
outs,
come around, try to meet up with
or
him. Yeah,
overhead
let's go
swap
ahead and do
outs.
that
Like those
now.
are overpass
While
swap
we have the
outs. Sorry,
chance,
those are
especially
really
this
good
week,
ones.
we might even be
And
able
it's
to
funny because
position,
like we use
ourselves on the
this
opposite
kind of stuff
side.
in No Pixel, right?
now getting
But
an
it unironically is shit that these guys have done in
on
real
the
life
smaller
and have
red light.
successfully done too.
He goes over the double yellow lines, gets
Look at
right
Austin
back
trying to
onto
be
the
relevant
correct
here. Look,
side.
look. This is because
But he's
LAX is
still going
designated as a Class
northbound.
Bravo
He's
airspace, which
likely
is
gonna convert
designation for the
his
busiest
start
airspace in the
position,
country.
take the straight up Main Street, most
Thank you,
likely,
Austin.
very possible, and most likely right back to the original neighborhood where this pursuit started over an hour ago. So we're going to lose sight of him momentarily.
You didn't know that shit? This is why this is my topic.
all
No,
of
I
those
know that there's a
flashing
busy.
lights, right behind
You think
here
I
on
didn't
Main
know
Street.
why
And,
helicopters
we will
can't
try
reach
and-
the airspace
do our
above
best
or
to
near
get a visual.
LAX? Yeah,
Main
I
Street
know.
just past
I didn't know the
Manchester. That was that
designation was called
last,
Class
main
Bravo,
train
but
intersection, if you're familiar with that neighborhood, and there's a lot of folks out and about right now as this slow speed pursuit goes right on by, and we're staying on top of this.
did that guy
because
hook a
if you're
Yui?
just joining us, this is a murder
Is this guy trying to
suspect. This is
slow
something
down the
that,
fucking
police and law enforcement are
potential
taking very
suspect? What is he?
seriously. And now that they had that perfect spike strip, they don't have to let him go because he cannot maneuver or move fast enough to be that much of a danger to society.
Do they not know this is like a murder suspect, man? Like he could, you know.
What is the reaction going to be? Is he going to give up, or is he going to run, or is he going to fight? And we have to be aware that these possibilities exist in a big way.
Wait, what the
especially
fuck?
if
He's
this is a
filming?
murder suspect, Giovanna. This guy, he
Attention, a
is
gag
in
order
his
has been
last
issued to
breath
HasanAbi on
as
topics
a
related to
free
police chase and
man,
air travel.
and he could be desperate.
As you were talking, David, the man on the right of your screen was waving his hands and sort of shaking his arms, apparently egging him on or celebrating him. I mean, we don't know, we can only guess, but we can only hope that law enforcement is in touch with him in his car. We know he has a cell phone, or maybe he's talking to family. Hopefully they're trying to talk him down, convince him, persuade him to turn himself in and end this peacefully.
Yeah, the tread on both front tires is gone. The back tire, we believe one of the back tires is also punctured.
Is the driver
It
really
still
live
has
streaming?
tread.
No,
If there is
I don't think
one
so.
functioning tire, so be it, but
Is
maybe
he?
both are punctured. We're not quite clear yet. Nevertheless, you can see the damage on this vehicle. One is from a collision with a pickup truck when he was going the wrong way on an entrance ramp, but the rest of the damage looks to be from that spike
No,
strip
sometimes they
and the
do that,
disintegrating
for
rubber.
sure.
He does try to
Look at
turn.
that.
Look at that. Right towards you, Chris.
Westbound Florence, a wild left turn.
This chatter said,
with
please
tires,
watch
and he
Macklemore.
just randomly made a left turn on
Please
Florence.
watch
I
this
can tell
instead.
you,
And it's
we
Hins
may
Hall.
actually lose sight of him now because unfortunately we were in the process of transitioning.
God,
from
I love this
LAX's
community.
airspace. The
Yeah, there's some
control
real
tower
donkeys in here, bro. I swear to
allows
God,
to follow
some
Main
real
Street northbound
fucking
along the 110
strange people.
freeway, and we were able to catch up. But now, unfortunately, we're going to start pulling away from him here as he ventures back into the Bravo airspace towards the airport, and that's gonna inhibit our ability here in just a second. Unfortunately, he made that turn. This is gonna give us a real problem here. He's gonna disappear behind these buildings. LAPD fortunately able to make that turn with him. We're listening to the radio to see if they have any luck, but a random turn there at the very last second, making a turn off of Main Street onto Florence and getting closer now to the 110 freeway. It looks like he's underneath the 110 freeway, underneath the Harbor Freeway, coming out the other side. And that is going to put him, oh, look at this, getting back on the freeway.
What?
He might be getting back,
That's
back on the
crazy.
freeway. That's not an entrance ramp, but it's going
How
to,
the fuck's he gonna?
yeah,
what is he gonna
he's
do on the
northbound
freeway? He
Flower,
can't go
which runs
above
parallel
35.
to the 110 freeway here, but he
Hi,
will
chat. I'm at the
eventually
Jack in
run
the Box They
into
Pass,
a
lol.
entrance
Nice.
ramp that will put him onto the freeway if he decides to take it. So look at him. He's coming up southbound on Florence, and now potentially you have to wonder why he's making these turns. Is he deciding that maybe he's approaching the on-ramp here? So maybe this is just a game of cat and mouse for him at this point. I was going to say maybe he's got an idea of where he wants to go, but it almost looks, you see the on-ramp right there in the middle of your screen, and it looks like he is going to take it. Wow. We will see here if LAX allows us to reverse course, because now we are behind him once again. We've transitioned northbound. Now we are just south of downtown LA, looking south along the 110 freeway, and once again he's put himself in a position.
Oh shit, look at that traffic.
He's an even thicker
Oh, it's building.
We're further into the rush hour than we were earlier.
Y'all were like, y'all were talking about how, you know, LA has no traffic. Well, there it is. Okay, you spoke too soon. You spoke too soon, chat. There's always fucking traffic in LA.
That the rear tires were affected as well.
Look at this. Look at this. This truck is
trying
trying to get in the way, trying to get him to stop.
That's dumb.
We thought.
Well,
it appeared that way anyway.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. I mean, now it looks like he's decided to get off the freeway again. So now LAPD getting on that exit ramp, getting back onto Manchester Avenue. It certainly appears as though he's making this up as he goes along here, but now we are westbound on Manchester Avenue, and we will see if he comes up through this intersection, decides to maybe either make a U-turn or continues westbound. I do not see him yet. He's going to be behind the tree right there, and it looks like he is making a turn. Making a now eastbound turn on 84th, LAPD right behind him here, now going underneath the freeway once again. And if the game of cat and mouse continues, he may very well get back on the freeway where he has been most comfortable during most of this pursuit, but actually looks like he's going to continue eastbound. So
he's a murder suspect, chatters.
On 84th, I believe, coming up on Broadway, and almost looks, if you notice that, guys, it almost looks like he's able to pick up a little bit of speed there, the way he went through that intersection. He's going through a residential neighborhood now, LAPD right behind him as he continues eastbound on 84th.
Yeah, hard to see him from this view now, but we hear from law enforcement officers that pursuit suspects will often return to the neighborhoods that they're most comfortable with, that they're most familiar with. So maybe that is what we're seeing here.
I think I said 84th. It actually appears that he is still on Manchester. So he's eastbound on Manchester, and LAPD now managing another vehicle that's trying to get involved in this pursuit. So they've got another complicating factor here. Not sure what the relationship is here, but there's another vehicle that is attempting to follow. We have multiple reports of that now as he makes a northbound turn onto Main Street off of Manchester. If you notice, guys, he's now done a complete circle here in South LA. So he is
LA is such an ugly city is what I'm finding out from all this is, bro, this is every American city. At least Los Angeles has some palm trees, okay? So what do you mean? Every major American city looks like this.
Opportunities if they were going to give a go-ahead for that pit maneuver, and the fact that we have not seen it yet tells me they have made the decision that it might be too dangerous with whatever information they're working with, because I think we would have seen it already, and under these circumstances, the fact that we haven't tells me they may be just looking to continue the course here.
I guess like there are some in the East Coast that are different.
He is now on the east side of the 110 freeway.
I love LA, but that's cope.
North of
Fuck you
Manchester.
mean?
We've been here before. In fact, if I'm not
with
mistaken,
the exception of like,
I think he has actually
with
been,
the exception of the
right
Northeast, that's like better developed.
Already. So this might even be the third time
and like
that
Chicago,
he's driven through this neighborhood right along Main Street.
There are parts of Seattle, there are parts of San Francisco that look exactly like this. The only areas that are unique in the way that they look across the board, I would say, are fucking like New York. I can't even say Philadelphia because like there's hella places in Philly that also look like this with the exception of pine trees.
But they also have to keep
I think you guys are thinking
safe,
of the best parts of your respective cities and not like the parts of your respective cities that look exactly like this, because there's places in Los Angeles that don't look like this.
For a while.
Hopefully get him fatigued to where he's just grows tired of this and decides to give up.
Yeah, at some point he will get tired, or the vehicle will run out of gas, one or the other, or another mechanical issue considering the condition of the vehicle. The other obstacle that they are working with, or the other factor I should say, is that you have people in the neighborhood who are
this is also South Side, so
to get involved here, and that really
that's part of it
at the end of the pursuit, because at some point they're going to
put
pull
the
their
piece
weapon
music
on
back
the
on,
suspect
Newsboy.
to
No.
make sure that that he cooperates, and they don't want to have to use force. But in the event that there is a crossfire situation, they can't afford to have anybody else in their way with cell phone cameras waving the suspect on. So now he has made another turn here from northbound Main. He's now going eastbound on 71st Street, still crawling along here, doing about 25, 30 miles per hour as LAPD continues to make their way eastbound with him here. He is just kind of taking them along for a joyride at this point, enjoying his final moments of freedom.
All right, and we will continue to watch this pursuit. Eventually, if we can get this to come to an end, it's important because this is a murder suspect. We can't emphasize that enough. This is a very important pursuit that's going on right now, trying to get this guy off the streets as he is barely moving along in a vehicle that has no tread. Oh, he's
turning once again.
Taking another turn there, Chris, weaving his way through this neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly. And that poses a real danger, too, because if you notice, these are narrow residential streets. So, again, these are all factors that obviously LAPD has dealt with many hundreds of times. They're well trained, but it does complicate factors nonetheless. When you have these narrow streets in a residential neighborhood, you know, that's why we always say we would much rather see a dangerous pursuit on the freeway as opposed to a narrow residential area, because we just don't know what the suspect is capable of. And we've already seen him making several desperate attempts, including putting the public at danger. Other motorists have been at risk during the course of this pursuit, even in head-on situations. He's already been in a collision. They have all that information. They know.
No, it's not David that they're chasing, chatters. Jesus Christ. There's not only one murder or murder suspect in the entirety of Los Angeles, okay?
And again, continuing to zigzag.
And also, David is not even considered a suspect or a person of interest by the police yet.
Per hour with an unknown amount of gas in the tank.
That's a good point. That could go on for quite some time. I was leading to the fact that there is a lot of news going on today, including some weather news this afternoon. Some severe weather, especially towards the desert and the Inland Empire, that we would love to get to eventually. We have another helicopter out in that area that is covering the weather. But of course, we want to see this come to a conclusion, because this is a dangerous pursuit, and this suspect will not give up. Nevertheless, law enforcement is taking it seriously, and they are content on, at least so far, Chris, to see this guy just meander through the streets until he decides to give up.
Yeah, and that has been the case, I would say, now for upwards of 30 to 40 minutes, where he has not had the luxury of really being able to accelerate. It's just kind of dragging that bumper along, riding the rims, grinding into the pavement, just trying to weave through some of the intersections. Occasionally, he'll go right through the red light. He'll swerve around into oncoming lanes like he is right here, getting right back on the right side here, and just taking these officers along for the ride. But the fact of the matter is, it is not a normal suspect behind the wheel. It is a murder suspect who is presumed, or suspected, I should say, of taking the life of somebody. And so just the behavior that we've seen during this pursuit here, the original one, the other crimes that are associated with him, it is a dangerous situation, to say the least, and it's not over until it's over. They don't know what they're going to be dealing with when he eventually comes to a stop. If he's desperate enough, they will be prepared for any situation. But it seems like a static situation when you cover these. What was a high-speed pursuit has now turned into a slow-speed pursuit, and what appears to be a static situation could change on a dime once he eventually comes to a dead stop. And so, like I said, it just isn't over.
They're
till it's
chasing
over.
Netanyahu.
When you see these people cheering him on, it gives you pause, because you just don't know how this is going to end. You see people crossing the street here. Some people came completely unknown about the pursuit, but they
This
hear
guy's
the
going
lights
to
and
eat
sirens
it at
coming
one
through
of these
this part of South
crossroads,
LA.
man.
And just knowing who was behind the wheel here,
That's the
we
one.
know
That is the
what
crossroad
they
that
don't
he's going to eat it
realize,
at, it
and
seems.
It is a dangerous person, to say the least.
At least he's stopping there at that intersection on a very busy street, and letting some of the traffic go by, and law enforcement patiently watching him. Obviously, the ultimate scenario is for this to end peacefully.
Oh my God, this guy's a real fucking Macklemore fan, dude.
Let that come to a conclusion.
In the wild. I mean, Macklemore's great, but
News at 5 o'clock, and when we get
I don't know
to the
why
5
you're just
o'clock
spamming
hour,
him so
we will
much.
show you some of the more dramatic moments within this pursuit, and you can see how dangerous it was. By joining it right now, you see it going at a very slow pace, but that is for very specific reasons. If this guy had the ability, he would definitely try to get away as quickly as possible in a very dangerous way, which we have been seeing. Chris, you're on the move again.
We are on the move. We've now been given clearance to transition southbound and hopefully meet up with him on the other side here as we transition over the 110 freeway. We're going to lose a visual here for a couple of minutes. The hope is that he either comes to a stop or continues in this direction, because obviously navigating LAX airspace is complicated and is a little bit tricky. So we're going to lose him for a little bit here, but what I can tell you is that as he continues the pattern that he's established, which involves a number of loops through this part of town, whether he continues the circle, or if
I mean,
he
it's
continues
over.
southbound on Main Street, they have asked for another spike strip. So if they have the opportunity,
What more can they
if the pattern
spike? Didn't they
continues,
clap all the
they will
wheels?
make another attempt at spiking those rear tires if they have not deflated already. Based on the ability to maintain control of the vehicle, I'm guessing that those rear tires are still doing a bulk of the work there, and so for that reason, they want to make sure they knock out all 4 tires. We know that the front 2 are gone. He's already riding on 2 rims. Now they want to attack that rear axle and make sure that they've done everything they could, and now I understand that the spike strip has been laid down. We'll see if he hits it. We may not be able to show it right away, but as we come around on the other side, we'll be able to kind of line up with him on Main Street. So he's going down Main Street. We're traveling down the 110 freeway. When we get to the 105 freeway, we'll be able to cross over and hopefully see him coming southbound as he continues. Now, if he continues southbound, that's one thing I'm hearing on the radio. He may have just made a westbound turn, possibly on Century, so we may have a glimpse of him coming towards us here as we transition through LAX's Bravo airspace. Just kind of keep an eye out for him, Josh, as we come up on Century. We may see him coming towards us.
How long has it been since we had a chase on stream? It's been a minute.
All right, and as we begin Eyewitness News at 5 o'clock now, the voice of Michelle Fisher, I'm joining David Ono as we continue to keep an eye on this wild pursuit that's been going on for about an hour now. I was in my office getting ready for the show, watching the coverage that's been ongoing, and just remarkable to see how at one point this vehicle was making these wild maneuvers and has now kind of been forced to slow down because of the condition of the vehicle. As you mentioned, we know at least 2 of those tires completely gone now. He's riding on rims for some time, and as you mentioned, maybe a second attempt at a spike strip to get the back tires disabled to hopefully eventually get this driver who is suspected of murder to stop at some point. You have to ask yourself, what is the goal here, you know, after a certain point?
I think the goal is for this to end peacefully, and whatever.
Listen, as long as the wheels keep turning, as long as he's got those 2 hands on the steering wheel, he is a free man, okay, until the very last moment. So I think for him, that's the goal. You feel me? Yeah, this is overtime. That's what he's doing. He's in overtime right now. But clearly it's over for him because it's over for us at least. David's house was searched. I know, but that was the first day. And then they didn't even prioritize him as a suspect. Or, in the words of Cash Money Baby Patel, a subject. Also, what the fuck is this TikTok? The girl David killed was in my teacher's class.
Hold up. That's her in my classroom in front of this poster right here. Okay, hold up. I got another one because I got a picture on TMZ of this other kid exchanging stuff with the rapper who we alleged did this stuff. Hold on a second, because he's also in my classroom.
Wait, how long ago was this?
We all just found out yesterday who it was, but she's been missing since I taught her. So when I taught her, she met this dude on social media. He was a rapper in LA. He came and got her. She ran away from home. She was gone for like a month.
I don't know if he's saying that he knew that one of his students was being actively predated on, okay, by a pedophile rapper. I think he's just retelling what he has heard in the news and tying it back to himself for some reason. Still very fucking strange. Because, like, as a teacher, it is literally illegal for him to not report that. If there's a suspicion, if he has a suspicion that, like, a random adult is like hanging out and shit in a super inappropriate way, with one of his students, like, he's a mandated reporter. He has to report it to the authorities. A mandatory reporter.
The cops found her in Hollywood, brought her back to our school. She came back to our school, kind of told people this story. She disappeared again in May of that year, May of 2024. That's when her friends told me what happened, that it was this rapper, that they were like blackmailing him, all of this stuff. And then I found out yesterday that she's now dead in that rapper's car, cut into pieces. You want to know how they met? I feel like I just said it. Social media.
Oh, that's what he's tying it back to. He's trying to fucking boomers, man. Bro, he's literally trying to say like, no, it's not that he didn't report it. He's saying he's retelling the story from what he has figured out. And he's trying to tie it back to fucking stranger danger and social media, but he's also doing it in a way where he's like kind of clout chasing. It's odd.
Let me tell you another story. Hold on.
Yeah. I assume he's got more stories about the dangers. Wait, what the fuck? Oh no, wait, is this new?
Inflated. Unbelievable to see that front left rim still almost intact despite the amount of distance he's covered just driving on those rims. That rim is intact.
Is this
I would almost expect by now that we would have seen it start to fall apart, see metal flying off, and see those sparks kind of flying off the vehicle, but that's not happening. That rim, look at him gesturing towards the ice cream truck.
How is he cloud chasing? His students secretly filming him? No, like he's trying to tell his personal involvement with a high profile incident. That's what I meant by cloud chasing. I didn't mean like he's putting himself on the fucking internet. I meant that he's trying to look somewhat cool by explaining his association with a high profile victim from the same school, which is a crazy thing to do. But his goal obviously there was to do a scared straight routine.